Hey guys, I'm back to share my 2013 New Year's resolutions with you. I posted this video exactly 1 year ago on January 8th for my 2012 resolutions. I will link that below if you're curious to see. I actually did go ahead and watch it about a week ago just to kind of go down memory lane and jog my memory a bit about what I was looking forward to for the year and to kind of reflect on that. And I am going to film after this video a 2012 recap / reflections video, and that will be on my Housewife Life channel. A link to that is below, of course. Now, I worked on this when I was on the plane the other day coming home from Utah, and I just have kind of a big list this year. I'm going to write it out separately on paper to put in my Filofax like I did for last year. I just haven't had a chance to do that yet, and I really wanted to get this video up 1 year, after the day. But I basically kind of broke things down into two sections, as you can see. We have work goals and then personal goals. So now that I am officially, as I have decided to call myself, an original content creator, I do make revenue from YouTube videos just by the ads that are on or next to my videos, and it has become definitely a full-time career for me, which is really, really exciting. So I wanted to gear my New Year's resolutions towards that new aspect of my life and kind of separating them from my personal life, because the thing with being a YouTube personality, or whatever you want to call it, is that it's kind of all-consuming. It's really hard to separate your personal life from your work life when there aren't clear day hours, or if you don't set those sorts of things for yourself. Like if I were going to a traditional 9 to 5 or something like that where I had hours and I went somewhere to work. Now I'm mostly working from home, and I'm also with turning my housewife life into a vlogging only channel and vlogging much more regularly. I'm filming all the time, I'm editing a lot. There's not a lot of dividers. So I wanted to start the year by kind of putting that divider right into my resolutions. Of course, my work life and my personal life are, they're linked forever, because that's just my personal life goes into my work. But I think that's the case for most people. I just wanted to start out with that way. So I thought I'd go over my work goals with you first, and then I get into my more personal goals. Now, these aren't in any particular order of importance. I kind of think of them all as equally important. I guess some have more heft than others, but I'm going to be looking down to read them off and to jog my memory about what I wanted to share with you guys, so that's what I'm doing if I'm looking down. Last year, one of my big goals was to brand myself, to get a logo and launch my blog and do all of that. Well, that all happened. I have my Organized Like Jen logo, I have my Organized Jen logo, I have my Housewife Life logo, my Busy Bee Buzz logo, I have cute little email signatures now, I have all of that, and my blog coordinates, of course. So to wrap that up, I want to order business cards. Actually, my designer, Erin over at Designer Blogs, designed them for me. She's the lovely lady who designed my entire blog, and I will be doing a video on that probably at the end of this month about the steps I took for blogging, and what choices I made and all of that on this channel. She designed the business cards for me. I just have to find a vendor that I like and order them. And also she designed a custom return address stamp for me, and I need to order that. So that's kind of just tying up some loose ends of my branding, that sort of thing. And I also want to kind of work on my own. I've been very slowly teaching myself very basic graphic design using GIMP. I am going to order Adobe Photoshop this year. It's quite an investment, so I'm just working with GIMP, which is a free program that kind of works on the similar principles, although much more basic as I am to understand. I'm not an expert, so I'm not quite certain. But I want to design some stationery that I can just print at home for my stand-up correspondence with you guys. So some of the bigger ones, I guess, are at the top of this. Time management. That is a huge project I'm undertaking at the very beginning of this year, and actually already started to work on it a little bit, kind of sketching out a plan, because like I mentioned before, this career of mine now is very time consuming and there's not a lot of structure around it, how I have it right now. I want to make it into more of a structured thing where there are certain tasks that I set out to complete every week and certain like times of day that I work on certain things and certain days that I do certain things. I mean, and it's not like do or die, it's not like I have to follow it to a T. I just think it'd be really helpful to have sort of just like a basic outline, a loose structure for me to work around to keep it so I don't get too, like my whole day doesn't get so consumed into it that I have some separation of time, that I have ample time, downtime for me and time for Dawn and time for Winnie and time for my family and time for our friends. And I'll get back into that when I talk about my personal goals. So I'm working on a workable template, and I just started on the plane as well, kind of just going through my work goals on one, whoop, there goes that, on one side, and then I'm going to work on my like other goals, like the things I have to do every week for my housewifely duties, you know, shopping, picking up, laundry, you know, etc. So I need to work through that, and once I have all of that information down, then I can start making a structure from it. So I already started work on that, so that's good. So that's one of my like first things I'd like to accomplish. Also, kind of hand in hand with that is really work on my project management. I had designed it into my Filofax, if you watched those videos from last year, and the problem was I just didn't use it. And I think the reason why I just didn't use it is because I couldn't, like, this is going to sound so silly, but it's in the back of my Filofax, and most, like 90% of my Filofax is dedicated to my calendar and daily to-dos, which I use every single day and I love. And just because it's in the back, it kind of gets lost, and also it's kind of hard to write in because there's so much calendar, there's so many calendar pages, and it's just really hard to access, like literally. So that's not really working for me. And I think that's the main reason why I didn't really use it. I mean, this is such a journey. Finding the project management system that works for me personally has been like a two and a half year long journey. Now, I started initially with the project notebook that was separate, and I liked it, but the problem with that was it was too big, it wasn't portable, and I couldn't incorporate it into my daily to-do system. Now, what I'm thinking is I'm going to take the project management aspect out of my Filofax, like literally out of the rings, just take it out, and then transfer it into a little Moleskine notebook like this, and just put custom tabs in. And that way, this size Moleskine notebook, I think this is a 5x7, fits perfectly into my Filofax. I can tuck it into the back of the Filofax behind my calendar and daily to-dos system, where it was before, but it was actually like in the Filofax, and then I'd be able to just remove it. Do you know what I mean? I could take it out and work on it separate. It's a small little book. I could take this to stores with me, like to the Container Store or whatever that I'm working on, and then just tuck it back into my Filofax. So it's still part of the Filofax, but it's not literally connected to it. If that makes sense. So that's what I'm kind of leaning towards doing, and if I do it and it works, I'll do an updated video. It's like, it'll be the third project management video, but I'm hoping that's the key to success with the project management thing. Okay, next on the list is organize my finances and keep track of expenses. Well, again, now that I've mentioned in the beginning of the video that this has become a career and I've started making enough income that it counts, like I really have to keep track of it for tax purposes, I want to maybe open like a business bank account or just get a dedicated credit card for expenses. That's equipment, including cameras and memory cards and computer and, you know, all that stuff. And also when I do like giveaways, that stuff counts as expenses as well, and shipping and all of that. So I need to start keeping track of those things, keeping them separate from my personal finances. So really like business ties my business, if that makes sense. Business ties, yes, you heard it here first. I need to work on my computer organization. I just purchased, this summer, I upgraded my equipment this year. It's just with all the editing I do and all the traveling I do, it was necessary for me to upgrade my equipment. So I got the Retina MacBook Pro, so I've been using that for the past half a year, and it's really been working out for me for like traveling and such. And then I just upgraded my desktop, which is an iMac. I got the new Retina iMac, which would be great for video editing. And I need to, now that it's like the perfect time when you get a new computer to organize your files, I need to transfer everything from my old computer onto my new one, etc. So that'll be a big part of that change, and also just making sure that my backup system is organized and everything's on it. I have a Drobo, which is a redundant hard drive. It's actually like a big black thing that encases other like smaller hard drives, and then what it will do is it, whatever you put onto it saves, but then it saves extra versions of it onto the other hard drive. So if one hard drive in there fails, you don't lose everything. It's all on the next hard drive, if that makes sense. So that sort of goes hand in hand. And once I kind of finalize that, I will probably do a computer organization video, definitely a photo organization video, but I don't know about the computer yet. Now for like my social media stuff. So for YouTube, I want to continue to post videos regularly. I was pretty pleased with how I did this past year. I wish I could have worked on some more organized like Jen projects, and I have a lot planned for this coming year. I started making a little like rough draft list here. But I have a lot I'd like to do. So that needs to be worked into my time management schedule, my workable template. But to be more specific, I aim to post this amount per week per channel. It doesn't always end up that way, but it's sort of like my basic goal, and I was pretty pleased with how I did this year, with the exception of Winnie the Zoo 2. I'm sorry about that, because I made a promise for that channel, and there wasn't enough content I could provide for that channel. So I've kind of adjusted my goals for this year. So 1 video per week, organized like Jen, this channel. If possible, sometimes it'll be more when I'm working on a project and it's like a series of videos. Sometimes it'll be less when I need to take a break between projects, or there are other commitments that are demanding my attention, that sort of thing. 2 to 3 times per week on the Busy Bee Buzz. That's my newest channel, if you're not familiar. That's, My Housewife Life used to host a lot of content, reviews, hauls, favorites videos, and then some vlogs here and there. Well, since I made My Housewife Life just vlogging, I bumped all of that other content onto the Busy Bee Buzz, which is where I will now be posting my favorites videos, my open box videos, my haul videos, my review videos, all that sort of things. All those sort of things. That works better. So if you're not familiar with that channel, you'd like to check it out, there's always a link to that, as well as all my other channels and everywhere else on the internet. You can find me in the bottom bar below, the more info bar. And I think 2 to 3 times per week on the Busy Bee Buzz is pretty doable, because I was already doing that with the same content on My Housewife Life for the past year and a half. I'm hoping to post 3 to 5 times a week on My Housewife Life, and those are vlogs. It's just daily, day in the life, sort of follow me around vlogs. Sometimes it'll be more than that, specifically when I'm traveling. Sometimes it'll be less, like say I'm traveling and I'm filming, but I don't have the internet connection I need to upload. Then I'll upload all those videos when I get home. It'll be a big clump, but there'll be like a drought for a little bit, you know what I mean. But I will always let you guys know on Twitter when I can't be posting, but I'm still filming. But when I'm just home, like regular stuff, 3 to 5 times a week sounded pretty doable to me, and most of those would be just like day in the life vlogs. But then there'll also be a few housewife confessional sorts of vlogs where I just sit and talk to you guys like this on there. And then my New Year's recap for 2012 is that sort of video, but it's a My Housewife Life video, if that makes sense. And then I altered my Winnie the Zoo 2 posting goal to be 1 time per month. I'm kind of hoping for every other week. I just don't know how doable that is, so I kind of aimed low. I do post every day on her blog. It's hard for me now that I'm having to manage 4 channels. Really the biggest problem is not the filming and the editing of it. I mean, I'm sure I could handle that time-wise. It's just figuring out what content I can provide on that channel that I haven't already done. And I have some suggestions from you guys, which I really appreciate. It's just a matter of kind of figuring out what's gonna work for me. And then for comments for YouTube, my general practice, and I feel like this is a good thing to share with you guys anyway, and my goal for the year, when this is basically what I do, is I like to read through the comments about a day or 2 after whatever, you know, each video goes live. I'll read through all the comments, I'll reply to some of them just a day or two after. I do it 1 or 2 times at the most, and then that's it. I mean, I love your comments, you guys, and I really enjoy hearing from you, and I appreciate your support and your feedback and all of that. It's just with the amount of content that I am putting out there and all of the other things to manage, it's just not really feasible for me to go back to every, you know, I have something like 800 or 900 videos now total. It's just, or something like that. That might be total fabrication, but I feel like it's a lot of videos. Maybe it's only like 500 videos. It'd just be really hard for me to go back to every single video like that I've ever posted on some sort of regular basis, if you know what that means. If you know what I mean. If you're watching an older video of mine and you have a question or something, the best place to reach me is on Twitter. If you're like, oh hey, I was watching your skincare routine from like a few years ago and I was wondering if you still use this product, and ask me on Twitter if that's the best place to get like an instant or relatively instant reply from me. Now for my new blog, OrganizedGen.com, I also want to thank you guys for your wonderful support. I love it, and I'm so happy that you guys love it too. It was a labor of love. I found a great designer. Like I said, I'm going to do a whole video on that later on, but it's beautiful. So my goal is to post regularly on that, and I decided to set a 3 posts per week sort of minimum goal for myself. And that would be 1 post per category. So I've kind of divided the blog into 3 basic categories covering my 3 YouTube channels. You know, not Winnie's channel because she has her own blog, but Organized Like Jen would be like organization and travel related content. And travel organization basically. My housewife life would be just sort of like personal anecdotes or thoughts or whatever. And the Busy Bee Buzz would be, you know, like beauty, product reviews, a haul, like mini hauls that I'm not filming for, that sort of thing. So I'm hoping to post 3 times per week, once per category, and also check the comments 1 to 2 times a day. I have the comments set to moderate, so I actually read every comment that you guys leave on there and approve it personally. So that was my choice with the blog. I just decided I wanted to do that with the blog. I do not do that with my YouTube channels, but so I'm kind of aiming, that'll be worked into my time management schedule, but I'm aiming to do it, you know, at least 1 time in the morning and then maybe at the end of the day as well. Post on Winnie's channel regularly. I've been trying really hard. There are some times when I just can't get through everything, but I do what I can. Winnie's channel, Winnie's blog, winniethezoo.com. I also want to launch and design and launch my new Tumblr, which is Positively Polished. Thank you guys for your suggestions of names. I love the name. I actually already have a logo designed for it, and I have a new logo for Winnie's blog too, which I will be working on at the beginning of this year, kind of redoing her blog. And then I want to post on that every time I paint my nails, which is basically like 1 to 2 times a week. Twitter, I would just keep up with these things. Twitter, posting every day, and I try to get to your replies once a day at least, or reply to you guys. Facebook, I'm going to try to post more regularly on Facebook and get to your wall post once a day. For snail mail, I really need to pick up with this. I'm like still working through the holiday cards. I got so many this year, you guys. Thank you so much. I've written 150. I probably have about 400 more to go through, and I haven't been to the post office since I've been home, so we'll see how that goes. But in general, I'd like to spend some time, like twice a week, working through some snail mail. I always pick up my mail once a week. I pick it up on Tuesdays if you're curious. And kind of hand in hand with correspondence, email, and messages. There's Facebook messages, there's YouTube messages. I want to try to get to those 2 to 3 times a week and get back to as many of you as possible, if I can. Also, learn how to use my new camera. I got a Canon T4i for Christmas from Dawn. That was my big present I requested. I really wanted that camera. So I'm going to work on learning how to use it for, I mainly wanted it for blog post photos, but it's possible I could end up filming with it if I got really comfortable with it. I'm not sure. I love this camera. This is a Sony Handycam. I think it's a 150 HDR 150 CX. I love it. It's tiny, it's easy to travel with, and it's pretty good quality. And also kind of upgrading my equipment this year, going along with that software, I want to, like I said, invest in Adobe Photoshop and get more immersed in graphic design and be able to design things for myself. And also, I'd like to upgrade from iMovie to Final Cut Pro, which is basically just a more advanced movie editing program. Oh, that was a whirlwind. So that was all my like work goals. So now for my personal goals. And I mean, this is just my first thoughts on this, and this fluctuates a bit, you know, like, well, I'll talk about this in my recap video on my housewife life, but I don't feel like I have to do all of these things to be happy. It just helps me kind of think about my year and add some structure to it. I'm the kind of person who I feel more comfortable when I have sort of like an outline of things I'd like to do. It doesn't mean I'm going to get to all of them, but it's not the end of the world if I don't, if you know what I mean. The personal goals are personal, so I will share those with you now. In terms of my anxiety, I want to continue progress in social situations. I made great headway this year with my social anxiety and just getting that to a more manageable place. So I want to participate in more events, more family gatherings, hanging out with friends more, just reaching out more to people instead of, you know, kind of being such a homebody. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just I'm growing and I want to continue that growth. Work on communication with Don. Communication is the key to a healthy relationship. I am absolutely stand by that. Don and I have very good communication, but of course it could always use improving. I think anybody's communication skills could always use improving. And the person that you live with, the person that you're married to, the person that you're closest to, that's the most important person to communicate with after yourself. Self-communication is your number one priority. Being honest with yourself, being open with yourself, that's very important, but also in second place is sort of, you know, your closest companion, whoever that might be. Having a working communication between the two of you that works for both of you, it's really hard. People are very different. And even people with a lot of similar interests, you could just learn how to communicate differently based on your historical background, you know, how you grew up, all the things that happened in your life. So communication has never really been my strong forte when it comes to, you know, like really personal, deep feelings and things like that. And being with Don has helped me tremendously because he's very, very open about things like that and he doesn't pressure me at all, but he's also encouraging at the same time. So continuing work with that. Let's see. Oh, and I haven't talked about this, I guess. It's not like it's a totally private thing, although it is private, but I have been seeing a therapist for 1.5 years now. That was a huge, huge, huge deal for me to finally decide to do that after a long time. And that's a really big, long story. That might be something I could talk about in a housewife confessional someday if I work up, you know, the nerve or whatever. But I struggled with part of my anxiety branches out to like therapy, and I had to overcome a really big hurdle to get there. But I'm really glad I did. I've been seeing this wonderful woman once a week for, like I said, 1.5 years now, but she has helped me so much just really understand myself better and be able to communicate with myself better. And like I said previously, that's sort of the first thing, and that's the first step to help you communicate with others better. So I want to continue work with her and continue working on communication with Don. Spend more quality time with Don and Winnie, of course. Don and I sort of implemented a Friday date night over the past like half a year, and we want to continue that. Kind of got lost with the holiday shuffle, so pick that back up again. And for Winnie, that just means like going on our adventures together, just making time to spend with her, like specifically going to new places to go for walks and that sort of thing. Be more present in the moment. I'm constantly working on this because as an official worrywart, I tend to like think about the past a lot and worry about the future a lot. So it's a constant struggle to like stay right in the moment, and that's just something I'm always working on. So and in conjunction with that, I want to work on my listening skills a bit more, because sometimes my mind just like jumps to the next thing and I won't give like Dawn the chance to really share something with me, and I just want to be better at listening. I think I'm okay at listening now, but I want to be better at it. It's something I want to work on, and my patience for sure. Journal more. So this is my 4th year of keeping a gratitude journal, which is something I write in every night. I write, maybe 5 or 6 kind of bullet points of things I'm grateful for that day, and it can range from anything at all. There's no limit. There's no like, you have to write about this sort of thing in it. And I just this is a paper chase calendar, like a day-by-day calendar. So there's a date and a page for every date. So I just want to keep that up. I do this the very last thing before I go to bed every night. Well, actually, I do this and then I put lotion on and then I go to sleep. But I just want to keep up that practice. And I also want to work on my personal journaling a bit more. I did a bit more this past year because that was a goal from last year. But I just don't want to keep working on that, because that also plays into the communication with myself and others as well aspect. Music is a priority. I really slacked on the music goal last year, like really slacked on it. And I'll talk about that more on the other video. But I kind of adjusted it. Last year I said I'd do 15 minutes every day. Well, that just wasn't feasible. So now I'm looking for 15 minutes 4 times per week if possible, and alternating between piano and guitar, which are the 2 instruments I play. Cut down on clutter. I know, every organizer's dream. So that also kind of goes hand in hand with the work side, because it's working through projects that I film for you guys, but it's all personal projects as well. My craft room's a big one. There's a lot of things in there I need to go through, find a home for, repurpose, give away, whatever. And just, like I said, I have a laundry list of projects, and these are all kind of decluttering projects. And kind of to go hand in hand with that is to save more and spend less. I have a lot of stuff, and I mean, that's evidently clear if you guys have watched any of my videos. So it's like, it's something I want to work on. I think it will help in the clutter department for sure as well, and it will help me with my projects because they won't be so overwhelming because there's so much stuff to work through. Continue my me time ritual. So last year I set this like bath goal where I would take a bath, and that would be when I could read most days a week, and I did stick to that. Very proud of that, and I plan on continuing that. It's really my total me time. So I spend anywhere from like 30 to 50 minutes in the bath most nights a week, and that is when I do reading, like I read novels, that sort of thing. Working on nutrition. So I have a pretty healthy diet with one exception. I am a major sugar addict. So I need to cut back on sugar a little bit. I'm actually on a no sugar week right now because I kind of OD'd at Christmas between eggnog and cookies and all of that. And I actually kind of got sick of sugar. And I know that if I get sick of sugar, then I'm eating way too much because I am, like I said, a sugar addict. So I need to just kind of work on that a little bit. We'll see where that takes me. But in addition, I also want to make sure I drink more water. That's a big goal. And I've been using these Count Me Healthy bracelets, which I'm going to probably do a blog post on to help me with that goal. And I'll talk about that later on in a blog post, like I said. Eat more veggies and protein. I usually eat a significant amount of veggies. I kind of didn't eat as many in December just because there was so much holiday food and sweets and stuff, so I just want to get back in the habit. And also, I struggle with protein. I'm not the biggest fan of meat. Like, I'm not a vegetarian, but I just don't really like large quantities of meat or to eat it very often. And it's something that I really need, considering how much, training and exercise I do. So, incorporating more lentils, more quinoa, those are non-animal sources of protein that are great. Beans, peanut butter, that sort of thing. But also just really try to get in some meats, be more active about it, I guess. Exercise is a priority. It already is a priority right now. It's really focused on training because I have my 2 half marathons coming up. Disneyland is in just a week and a half, craziness. And then that's the Tinkerbell half marathon. And then the Disney World Princess half marathon is at the end of February. So I've really been focusing most of my exercise attention on running. I kind of let everything go, especially in December when I was at a lack of time and I needed to just prioritize running and then everything else. So just getting back into yoga and cross training, strength training. Not so much cross training until my races are over, but definitely strength training and yoga for sure. Yoga is a great balancer to running. So I want to do more of those things. And after the races are over, I want to continue running. Of course, much less mileage probably, but I want to keep up that practice. So that's a big goal of mine for the year as well. Keep on top of my calendar, so I still need to update it for the new year. I don't take my file of facts on vacation with me. I don't use it on vacation. It's just, I don't make to-do lists generally on vacation. So I need to update that, and I just want to be better about birthdays. I'm getting a little bit better, but it's just sometimes those fall through the cracks, and I end up being late, but belated birthdays. So I need to be a bit more on top of that. And lastly, let go of what I no longer need in my life. I think it's human nature to hold on to bad things, and I try really hard not to hold on to them, unless there's a very specific reason, some lesson to learn or something. But of course, as with most people, I'm my biggest critic, so I've been really working for the past few years specifically on being less critical of myself. That was a really big issue with me in my mid-20s, and I've really come a long way, so I want to continue that work. And also just let go of negativity that surrounds me. I've done a really good job in the past year especially. Being on YouTube and putting yourself out there, not everybody's going to like you and not everybody's going to be supportive of what you do. I'm very, very lucky that most of you are super duper awesomely supportive, and thank you so much. I love you guys, I really do. But of course there's going to be some people that just, they don't get what you do, they don't understand what you do, they don't like what you do, they don't like who you are. And that's fine. Nobody has to like everybody. And people have different ways of dealing with negativity in their lives. Some people, this is just my own theory, but sometimes people have a lot of negativity in their lives and it's just too much for them to handle, so they have to deflect it out to other people to take the burden off them somehow. I don't think it actually works probably, but maybe it's a temporary feel better way of dealing with an excess of negativity in one's life. I don't know, that's just a theory I have. Who knows how people work? I only know how I work, so it's hard for me to judge or explain away how other people work. I don't like to do that. But of course those kinds of things can affect somebody, but I have really, really been very pleasantly surprised and extremely proud of myself for how I've dealt with the negativity that I've received, specifically from YouTube and also in my personal life as well. There have been some rocky patches this past year in my personal life with, personal relationships, but I've really dealt very well with them, and I'm very, very pleased that I've been able to accept the negativity, but then let it go. So there's a difference between just ignoring something and pretending it doesn't exist versus seeing it, accepting it as it is, and then saying, well, I don't need this, so I'm gonna let it go. And that's really what I've been working on, and I've really made really great strides in that, because kind of hand in hand with the self-criticism, I just have a tendency to just be really hard on myself, and outward negativity from other places can feed into that for sure. And I've really made a lot of progress in not letting outside negative influences weigh on me for long, if at all. Sometimes, like I said, I see it and I accept it and it is what it is, and then I just say, okay, moving on from you and so long. So those are my goals. Oh my goodness, this is the longest video ever. If you guys are still watching, Thanks for watching. Kudos to you. If you'd like to see sort of a recap of my 2012, I'm going to film that now for my housewife life. Just kind of just a general recap of how my year went. It was an awesome year, I'll say that much, but you can check it out. That video will probably be up tomorrow on my housewife life, or the next day. I'm not exactly sure, but very soon after this one. And I would really, really, really love to know what some or just one or all of your New Year's resolutions are. If you'd like to share, you can leave comments below. You can leave a video response if you'd like to this one. You can tweet at me. I mean, however you'd like to share. I'd just love to know. It's so fun to learn about each other. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great first couple weeks of the new year here, that things are going off, getting off on the right foot. And I look forward to spending this year with you and for us to learn and grow together, and just to be able to share more with you. The blog is an excellent new addition for me to share more with you, and I'm really excited about it. And also, continuing posting regularly on my channels here. And I have, like I said, a lot of projects planned. So I'm very, very grateful for all of you. And I really, really look forward to spending more time with you this year and learning and growing together. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts for 2013, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.